be able to develop our game. Football is wealth. Football is an economic enabler. All the people on the streets can get employment through a football industry. Football is huge. God has given us the talent. Why can't we as Ghana make it? We did it in the 1960s with Dr. Nkrumah and Ohinijan. Can we rule Africa and the world again? We probably have the best football talent in the world. Dr. Kofi Amoah is the Normalization Committee chairman. What is he normalizing? Tonight he joins us in the studio to tell us what he's found. Is it a great story or is it a damning story? Can we as a people generate our football, the financial model, the infrastructure, the wealth? That's all what we are discussing with Kofi Amoah tonight. You have to join us by phone, by text. We'll be on TV, we'll be on Facebook, we'll be online. Send your text ahead. Tonight we will change Ghana football right here in the studios of Good Evening Ghana. But have a look. Here are two political leaders, one from Africa, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the other one from Britain, the British opposition leader, talking and getting excited about football. Have a look and join us tonight.
Wow, this is it. And I'll be Oh man, this one is very painful. Very painful.
In view of the amazing performance of Liverpool last night, perhaps the Prime Minister could take some tips from Jurgen Klopp on how to get a good result in Europe.
Can I have some water?
You want some water to drink right now?
Just to
Yeah, the people are hearing you. We are live on air, Doc.
Sorry.
Yeah, we are. But you get water soon. Okay. Get Dr. Amoah some water.
Okay, go ahead. I don't need water. Start.
Okay. Can we see him? Can we see him? The people haven't seen him. Can we see him quickly? Okay, yeah, there he is. Looking dapper, handsome, dressed nicely. Okay, give him the water now so people don't see him taking the water. Okay, so whilst he takes the water, let me go through some of the questions that people have sent. And I am delighted that a lot of our friends have sent a few questions that I could ask. Okay, somebody says, who is qualified to lead Ghana football on merit? What have you learned as president of Ghana football? Have you been transparent and credible? Given your expertise in football, how do you explain the corporate world's non-participation? That's one set of questions that's come. Okay, keep your questions coming. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Paul.
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for inviting me.
We're happy that you came back to football after the stupendous work you did with CAN 2008, which is how many years ago?
2008.
2008 is 11 years. 10 is 18, so 11 years ago.
Yeah.
You've done well.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
When you took over, did you try to reconnect yourself with CAN 2008 and see where you left off and what can be done? Did you do that analysis?
Yeah, it's a natural consideration. You know, I'm here again, and you remember the emotions, the radio criticisms, the enormity of the task to build 2 brand new stadia and to refurbish 2 old ones. You are bringing 16 African countries. You have to house them. The accreditation, the security. We had to get our Black Stars ready because we wanted to win. We needed to create songs. The opening ceremony, we wanted to use our culture to mesmerize the world. Blatter was sitting right next to me, and we did. And so
he was mesmerized?
Very mesmerized. I mean, he couldn't believe himself.
But the infrastructure ran down just 2-3 years after CAN 2008.
Mr. Adom-Otchere, that's another whole story of how we start something great. We do the thinking, the hard thinking at the front end, and then we realize that if we're going to do this, after we do that, we must do ABC. You know, to go and spend $40-50 million at a place like Esipon.
Esipon Stadium?
Yeah. Yes, Esipon Stadium.
The one in Western Region, right?
Yes. Unless you do some serious thinking, what is going to happen after, then you're throwing the money away. You know, before we asked President Kufuor that we are going to bid, we did a good estimate of how much it's going to cost, the infrastructure you have to put in place. And at that time, a lot of African countries who hosted the tournament, after the tournament, the stadium had become white elephants. So we didn't want that to happen to us. We went to Wembley Stadium to see how does $1 billion edifice cash flow. We talked to the Dolphin Stadium people. We went around the world looking for ideas and advice how an African country, a challenged poor African country who wants to do sports in the millions of dollars can do it the right way and make it become beneficial to their economy. And so when we left, we gave a blueprint to government. Now the tournament is over. You have to do events management. You have to do ABC. You know, it was very detailed and delicate and well thought out. But it rested on the shelves. You go to Isipon right now, Paul, I'm very sorry, you know. These things bring emotional feelings to me. Tamale, the same thing, because the amount of work that went into it and the thinking behind it, to go there and see that everything is blown out in smoke, it hurts. And we need to change the way that we do things.
Why is that? We didn't use it. Secondary Hazakas or secondary 11 Wise play there.
Well, but a $40-50 million edifice cannot be left to one club. You know, it is a social investment, yes. But if you do it right, it will become profitable. If you remember, we designed a 40-room hotel into the structure. We had meeting rooms designed into them. We had restaurants designed into them. We took a cue from Wembley Stadium. You go to Wembley Stadium, you see that 80% of Wembley Stadium revenue has nothing to do with football. And that's what we wanted to do, because you don't play football every day. You know, so the economics of building stadia must become clear to us. Now I see that we are building some smaller ones and all of that. But regardless of how small it is, it's still spending money, and it must cash flow after you build it.
Yeah, but without infrastructure, we're not going anywhere with the changes that we want to bring to revolutionize football. In your mind, I'll come to the Normalization Committee, but if you want to pick up products like football in an African country, what are the first 3 things that you need to do?
Well, football is a business. And if it's a business, then you must understand the cost lines. You must understand the investment you have to make. And you must understand the revenue lines. How do you make money? You know, all over the world. I mean, Ghana has been playing football for 100 years. You would think that by now we understand the football industry. All over the world, in all football clubs and football countries, there are 5 revenue lines. TV production rights, broadcasting rights. I'm happy
you mentioned that one first.
Yes. Broadcasting rights, sponsorship, match day revenue, and player transfers. These are the key ones. But if you go and look at the details of a typical Ghanaian club, and you look at their revenue lines, a lot of these merchandise is not there. Ticket revenues are nothing to write home about. Sponsorship is 0 because we have destroyed the brand. Broadcasting right is nothing, it's not there. So what is left is to sell our players. That's the main revenue
earner.
For Ghanaian clubs. And therefore, if we want to revolutionize Ghana football, then we need to understand the forces in the marketplace of football and how to program ourselves to make it work.
What have you found so far with Normalization Committee, and what are you doing?
Well,
the question really is, what are you normalizing? People were asking me to ask you.
Well, once upon a time, there was a great nation that was a great football country. Did great with football. Conquered its continent. And at one point, it got a chance to be on the world stage. And when it got to the world stage, it mesmerized the world with its brand of football. In the initial stages, the football was used as a political instrument to unite the people, to bring happiness to the people, but most importantly, to make the people have a sense of specialness. And using football and conquering Africa, Ghanaians began to feel that they were special. They were different kind of Africans. And then it fit into the slogan of the leader at the time: the black man can take care of his own affairs, work and happiness. you know. And the football was done in a way that brought strength and dignity to Ghana. Ghanaian football clubs were great. Our domestic football league was strong, powerful. The fans were entertained. When we played football with European clubs, we were beating them. The top clubs of Europe came to Ghana. CK Jemfi, our own coach, we invested money to train our own people to become spectacular coaches, referees. And therefore, the thinking in the beginning stages was done properly. The right investment was made, the right people were trained, and therefore the strength was created in the football.
You're referring to Real Madrid at the peak of their career in the 60s, wanting to come to Ghana.
They did come.
Yeah, they did.
Yes,
they came.
exactly.
Yeah,
they
to
played
play football here
exactly.
in Ghana.
The English team came.
Yeah.
I remember when I was young, Stanley Matthews was also a hero. You know, we used to draw the way he looked and all of that. So Ghana, even though we hadn't been to the World Cup, the name of Ghana was already known to European football clubs. So what happened? What happened to that? You know. So I think that this interview you want to do here, let's be careful and analyze where things went wrong. And once we understand that, then we'll know how to correct it and bring football back to Ghana.
Okay, so we are at 25 minutes past the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. We are talking football, and we are talking very, very serious football, because tonight we want to achieve results right here on Good Evening Ghana. So, Doc, back to you. You are talking about the thinking that went into the early stages of our independence with football. So you are giving credit to Dr. Nkrumah and the people who did that work. Okay, you said it was used for a political purpose as well. Is it good or bad?
It's good. You are a tiny African country, just got independence. Nobody knows you. You have to be thinking, how do I bring myself? How do I bring attention to myself in a positive way? And I think sports was one clear area that was cost effective. If the black man can run as fast as the white man, then the inferiority thing that was the albatross around our neck will begin to dissipate. If a black football team can stand in the field, 11 players, and look good and dribble, then you are no more inferior. It's like the Jesse Owens story with Hitler.
Yeah.
If in Africa you are telling the Africans, let's unite, we are great people, don't listen to anybody, you are not inferior, and you, the speaker, your policy is using sports, and then the other African countries look at you and the way your people are dribbling and the way they have confidence. It's like today's Ghana is Rwanda. You listen to the confidence that the Rwandese speak with, then you begin to see that their future is bright. So we had a bright future, and sports was an underpinning of creating that confidence and that awareness that, yes, if you put in the right thinking, the right investment, motivate your people, you can rise to the top of anything. Every time I come here, I use this cocoa example. Ghana had never seen this crop before. It didn't exist here. But when it came here, with intelligent government policy, mobilizing the people, go to the bush, take your people, go and plant this crop, Ghana rose to become the world's largest producer of this crop. You take football with a proper thinking and investment in the beginning. We conquered Africa. Look at the Africa Cup of Nations. We were winning.
We were winning a Cup of Nations after Cup of Nations.
Exactly. We were the ones that was standing. So the lessons in there is that we first must decide what do we want our football to be? What do we want football to do for us? Is it just entertainment? But if it is supposed to create jobs in the country, if it's supposed to add to the GDP of the nation, then what I have to say is that we need to think of the right type of investment that we have to make, and you have to have the right pitches, you have to have the right training, the technical people, the coaching, the refereeing must be motivated, well paid, and the infrastructure that is needed to make it look civilized. Don't you feel bad when you turn on your TV and if it's a European game, the white lines, the pitch is nice, the people are sitting there, the effervescence of the whole environment it creates civilization and enjoyment. Then you turn it to the African one. You see that the pitch is not even straight. The white lines are a bit yellowish. These are all
real
things that we need to become conversant with.
Okay, so that's the point you're making. So this is the Accra Sports Stadium on the screen then. We got the guy mowing it, Dr. Amoah. He's mowing. This is the Accra Sports Stadium. So it's not always that gloomy like that, you know.
No, I don't want to change it, but what does it take for your pitch to be the same or better than somebody's?
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making.
It's just regular attention to it.
Attention
and these
to
are
it.
the basic things.
No.
I guess this is one of those, it's either the Esipon or the Tamale. Can you tell from this photograph?
Yes.
They all look the same.
The Esipon are about the same.
Yeah.
So this one looks like the Esipon one.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a beautiful stadium.
Yes. It looks like a spaceship from the sky.
So what is the area down there, the ground, the base, behind the goalpost, the black lines that we see, white lines in the black that we see? What's that? Is that a hotel?
That is part of the hotel, yeah. That is a corridor. So you'll be walking the corridor. The rooms are in the back. Yes, that is.
Oh, I see. Okay, so the hotels are beneath the sitting area.
Yeah, but this one we never finished the hotel.
So the space is still available?
It's still there. It's still there.
But it was built into it so that it can, in the future, be...
Yeah, we were thinking of revenue generators because, you know, all of these African countries who host these tournaments spend millions of dollars to host. After the hosting, these big edifices become white elephants. So we didn't want that to happen to us. So we put that into the design. After that, what are you going to use it for? If there's a hotel in there being operated, then activity is going on.
Yeah.
We had some stores built in there. Then women can be trading there. We had restaurants and meeting rooms, you know. If you remember, the Accra one are put in corporate boxes.
Yeah, I saw them.
Yes, corporate boxes that we rented for $150,000 for that
For
period,
a week.
For the 3-week period.
Yeah.
You know, all those things have been destroyed now. So the bottom line is that, I mean, the environment doesn't look too bad. If the inside is good, then...
Is that one of our stadiums in Accra? Yeah, I think so. This is the Accra Sports Stadium. Okay, this is the Accra Sports Stadium. Yeah. Wow.
But Paul, let me say this.
Yeah.
This program is very important to me in the sense that I want Ghanaians to realize what it is that is at stake with this normalization process.
That's really
interesting. That there's a significant portion of our society, be it entertainment, be it football, but it can become significant sector of our economy. If you look at the European structure, the football economy is 2 to 3% of their GDP. Spain is about 80 billion, right?
The football economy in Spain.
The football economy alone.
Per
80 billion.
annum.
Per annum. You understand what I'm saying? So even, you know, our GDP is not that much, but even if we were to make 500 million
from football.
From football.
From the football economy.
You know how many people that will hire? You know, how well we can pay our players? The dreams of the young people who want to play football, not have to be dreaming to be leaving Ghana.
And so you will say that every club will be employing at least 100 people.
Probably more than that, but they will be paying them well.
Yeah.
See, it's not slave wages.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you have technical people who attend to the pitches. It's a technical thing.
Yeah.
You have to be trained how to do these pitches. The coaches, our coaches, they are well trained and they are focused. They must be well paid so that they continue to educate themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Our referees, we are thinking of having professional referees, even instead of just part-time referees.
People who are referees as a full-time job.
A full-time job.
Really?
The EPL has 26
Some of them are
people
full-time,
who are full-time.
Yeah.
They do nothing. They are coaches.
Yeah.
And they supplement, you know, and all of that. So we need to be thinking, going in some of these directions. So young people with a degree who is interested in football can become a professional referee. And some can become professional coaches, you know. We also want a situation where our football players are also totally developed human beings, intellectually too, not just kicking the ball. And if you want to do that, then it means that you have to start thinking of pushing juvenile football into schools. In some countries, you cannot play professional anything sports without being drafted from the colleges and the schools.
Like American basketball situation.
Exactly. So Ghana should start thinking about that, because if you look at it, we have had situations where some of our gifted players, really their careers fizzled because of lack of intellectual abilities.
Absolutely. They struggle in Europe. They cannot understand.
Yes.
They don't know how to use the iPad. They can't understand coaches' instructions. It is very complicated.
So they just use them for practice, and that's the end of their career.
Okay. So when you came in, what have you normalized?
Well, we were brought in as consultants to look at repairing something that is damaged. I don't own a football club. I'm not a football player. I'm a businessman. FIFA feels that some people have a sense of judgment who can look at things and break it down and put it back together better. And this is the process that we are going through. Now, to repair anything, you must first know what is broken. And therefore, when we came, the first thing we did was to meet with the football community, the football clubs through GALCA, the football owners, the administrators, and dialogue with them. This is not just a one hour thing. Half day, full day, really intense discussion, give and take of what has gone down from their perspective, what is wrong that has brought all this to the gutter. We sat down with the players, the people who play the game. In sports, the basic, most important element is the player. When you go and look at the history of sports, with jockey, horse racing was really one of the first ones in the history of modern sports. 80% of the gate revenue will be given to the jockeys because the jockey is the one people are coming to see and the horses. You look at European football, about 49 to 51% of the revenues go to the players because they are central. People go and watch Ronaldo play. They don't go to the pitch that I'm going to look at Juventus. They are going to see Ronaldo. And therefore, the player must become central in what we are doing. Obviously, the club is the family structure, the cellular structure that absorbs the player, gives the player the technical training, encourages them, nutrition, psychology, and builds them up to become a full professional player. So the club is very important. The referee, the arbiter of the game. You want a situation where on the pitch, on the day, match day, the best player wins by performance, not by shenanigans of somebody who has been bribed or whatever. So the referee is very important. So we met with them and they told us their problems, their difficulties, why some of these things happen, and all of that. We met with the women football owners, women football players, the technical people. The coaches were telling us, Dr. Amoah, this is the first time Ghanaian national coaches are having a meeting. They never meet, the Black Star coach, the Black Queens coach, the Meteors coach, they never really
meet together all of them at the same time.
Technically. So we have a problem. So once we had meetings with all these football constituents, we began to form a canvas showing the difficulties that Ghana football is facing. And some of these difficulties had very simple solutions. Now, in gathering information and ideas and suggestions, the 4 people appointed by FIFA could not be the only ones who were the Kwakwanansis of this world to come up with all the ideas. So we decided to reach out. That if you listen to radio, you hear great suggestions from people. And I know a lot of these people too who have good ideas. So we formed ad hoc committees. You were generous enough to serve on one of those committees.
I did, and we enjoyed it.
As the chairman of the committee. And we looked at football as looking at the elephant with different parts. And therefore we broke it down to these different ad hoc committees and invited people with the skills in those areas to meet for about a month and a half and dialogue. We had a technical committee, technical ad hoc committee, that would talk about the technical aspects of the game. How do we develop the game? What is the direction of the modern football game? The technologies that are coming in there, the VARs, the communication gadgets, and what should Ghana do to position itself to enrich its technical abilities. We had domestic league ad hoc committee. Now, for me, everything that I've learned about this football industry, the strength of football is about the domestic league. And this is why Ghana was good in the initial stages, because our football attention was in-house. We were interested in our Kotokos, Hasakas, Great Olympics. You know, the fans were mesmerized by these people. And the league was strong and entertaining, and it cash flowed. And therefore, the league continued to grow. Domestic league is the key, must be strong. So we had an ad hoc committee for domestic league. Obviously, because we have also now gone to the World Cup, and now we're on the international stage, and we have so many national teams, we had a national teams ad hoc committee to look at how many national teams should we have, and really ask the question, what do we want our national team to do for us? You know, because a lot of when I look at these things, it looks like there's a competition coming, we have to go, and then these things are very, very expensive, Paul. To take these national teams, their hotel, their airfare, their feeding, it's
to the international tournament.
Yeah, a tournament. It's very expensive.
So you want to cut down the national teams?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you're going to do something, there must be an objective. There must be a reason why you want to go and participate. It has to be a reason, not because you just want to go. You know, if you don't go, you may be criticized and all that. So there's a new thinking emerging that if you redo the Ghana football model, we have redone the Ghana football model, because you need to have a national football model as your centerpiece from which policies can then come out. And even the structure of Congress and all these other committees that now come will have to derive from a national football model, that what I call the pyramid. The European have their football model, the Premier League, this and that, and all that. So we have designed all of that. So we also had the marketing and sponsorship ad hoc committee. This is critical. If we say football has become a business, if it's a business and it must generate revenue, then you must be able to market the product of football. And therefore, that committee was critical. The advertisers, the top advertisers in Ghana, Gidilaye, this and all this, Titi Note, where they all came and served. And we had the promotions and the committee that you were on.
Yeah, public relations, media, and yes, promotions committee.
Presented a great paper.
So how? So after that?
Yeah, so we've done all that. We've done a book, okay?
A book?
Because, yes.
Based on the recommendations of all
these ideas that came were so enormous, so great, that whoever comes after us will benefit from that. So that's one of the things we are proud of. But it also helped us to develop a football model for Ghana, through which we have developed the structure, the legal structure for the new Ghana football after FIFA approves it and the Congress approves it, which you have the executive committee as we had it before. How many people should it be? Who should be in there? What should be the background qualifications and all that? Should it be just football people, or should they be independent directors to come in to strengthen it, to make sure that the best practices of corporate management are also included in there? So this is the direction that the Normalisation Committee has been going. Now let me also say this, that we have always respected the football community. You cannot come and try to help change, strengthen, improve something without really cooperating with the people in there. But what I want to say to my brothers and sisters in that group is that it is important that we all realize that something went wrong. That our football prowess, that the pride that Ghana football gave to Ghanaians, that the exhibition we created for ourselves on the international stage at some point had dimmed. We hadn't been able to go to the World Cup for a long time, never, really. I was one of the people who engineered Ghana's first appearance to the World Cup in Germany, 2006. I don't know. I don't have time to go through all that.
Yeah.
But once we went there, the lessons that we learned from there were used to help us to go to South Africa, and we did fantastic. And then when we went to Brazil, the bright lights dimmed, and then you began to see that maybe something has gone wrong. And the Jamesi report, sat down and the white paper was produced, but I don't know if something happened to that. But the bottom line is this, that Normalization Committee is here to liaise with the football community and create new statutes, new laws, new regulations, and new structures that will help Ghana football move forward. And we've done well up to this point.
When will your work be over? Normalization Committee, when will the work be over?
Well, right now, the FIFA mandate is supposed to end September 31st this year. We are trying to finish before then. And because I think we should be able to finish before then, because the big job that we had to do was really looking at the statutes and coming up with new statutes.
So you are done with that, looking at the statutes?
Well, we were done with the bulk of it, but now the Congress of Ghana Football must take a look at it and have a say. But FIFA also has to look at it and make sure that it agrees with FIFA's regulations. And so once we finish with the FIFA angle, then we'll bring it home and do the Ghana angle with the Ghana Football Congress, the GFA Congress. And after that, then we go into elections and elect the new Congress and elect the new executive committee that we call a board and the new president that we call a chairman.
That's interesting. The big story now is that people are campaigning for these positions already, because they are campaigning based on the criteria and the qualification as it used to be. Should they wait to see the new qualifying criteria, or, you know, they can go ahead?
Well, I mean, I think it is clear that the new elections will be based on the new statutes. Okay? So until that new statutes have been approved for people to see what is in there, obviously, if people have interest, I wouldn't want to say that they should campaign or not campaign, but if I am a part of something like that, and something that is done by rules and regulations, I would like to see what the rules and regulations are before I invest a lot of time and attention to that.
So George Afriyie and Fred Papo should stop campaigning?
They are not my advisors. They have to consult their advisors. If they are interested to do something, they do.
But there's
their
a
own
possibility that by the time we know the new statutes, things have dramatically changed, that someone who is qualified now may not be qualified then.
That is possible.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
So one could have campaigned all the time and then find out that I am not qualified at all.
Let me give you an example. Bank of Ghana started restructuring the banking system in Ghana.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they have what they call fit and proper.
Yes.
Okay.
Directors.
To be a director and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yes.
Why is that?
They needed to change the system.
They needed to change the qualification of people who are coming into a financial institution. There's a certain criteria that they feel must be there for a person to be competent to be in that position. And therefore, if we are doing new statutes, and based on what we have seen, based on the Anas Nomallization video of the kind of things that were going on inside Ghana football, that connive to bring our football down, it will be foolish for us to reform our football and then look at that. That means
look at the people who can run it.
Exactly. That means we are not serious. The same thing happened at the apex of global football. At FIFA, when the legal arm of the United States came inside FIFA, everything became open, and Mr. Blatter had to go. They themselves also had to reform themselves, and they also have reasons for, they have statutes that conform to who can do ABC. And I think Ghana will be falling short if we don't look at the key human capital, the type of expertise, and the type of honesty that Ghana needs in its football to make it work. So we are looking at all that.
News coming in is that the story gets better for the English Premier League, and the chairman of the English Premier League must be very proud tonight. Chelsea and Arsenal have made it to play in the final of the Europa League. Spurs, Tottenham and Liverpool have made it to play in the finals of the Champions League. So the two European top competitions, the Champions League and the Europa League, would have what I'm thinking is for the first time, the two of them would have the two competitions will have four English finalists actually playing in that competition. We're talking about philosophy and creating a certain structure and creating football infrastructure that can influence the continent. It looks like the English have, at this stage, achieved it. So that's just an announcement. I think more information will be coming in. Later on, you can join us on the phone on 055-300-0035. Maybe they'll put the number on the screen. You can call us into this program and ask Dr. Kofi Amoah some questions about Normalization Committee and the future. We are going on to talk about Black Stars now, though. But the number to call is 055-300. So that's 055-3 and quadruple 0 and 35. So that's 055-3 and 35. 055-300-0035 is the number to call. They'll pick up the phone, ask you your name, they'll tell me your name, and then I'll put you through. Okay, so September deadline, Dr. Amoah, means that you will be in charge of the Black Stars AFCON tournament. This evening, Sammy Kofor spoke and said that the Black Stars will surprise people at the tournament. So what should we expect for AFCON? We have always come to expect an AFCON tournament. It happens, we go to semi-final, nothing happens. The last time we won the cup was in 1982. Your committee was criticized for allowing or forming a Black Stars committee that was heavily laden with government officials. And I don't know whether you have overcome that or whether you have done that and it's okay. But what's the latest on Black Stars?
Well, let me say something a bit about the Black Star Management Committee. The rationale behind it emerged from our sitting president's desire that Ghana must do what it can to win the AFCON. He's very disturbed that for 37 years we have not won the tournament. And he has himself gotten involved to see what can he do, what can government do to strengthen our chances of our Black Stars. You know, we were hearing noises of internecine warfare within the camp, you know, that there were groupings within the camp, you know, there were factions and all of that. You can't go and win anything if you're not united. So that problem needed to be solved. So at a meeting to find out what are some of the challenges facing the Black Stars while we are not doing well, a lot of things came up. And I think in going to win something, once you identify your weaknesses, you want to create a structure that can deal with the weaknesses and strengthen your strengths. And therefore, the structure of the present Black Star Management Committee was formed based on some of the problems that we have identified as being problematic for winning the cup. Now, sometimes releasing money becomes a problem, okay? Sometimes paying for things become a problem. So you see that the deputy finance minister is a member, so that if there's money to be released, she can push a button because the president has directed that this should be done, and then we won't have any difficulties. You see that the deputy minister of sports is a member, you know, I mean, football and sports. So that's the central part of her, and he is there. Dr. Keke Sapon is the chairman of this committee with enormous football experience, enormous corporate management experience. He's the perfect guy to really see some of the things. But
he's also very busy as GMPC chief executive.
No, but he's committed.
Particularly busy.
He's committed that he will do it. When we went to the draw, he came. We were all there for about 5 days. From there, we went to visit where the Black Stars will be playing and staying, discussing the hotel arrangements. From there, I couldn't go with them because I had to come back.
So Keke Sapon's role is not about GMPC money. It's about his own expertise in football.
His expertise, and also GMPC has become a good supporter of the Black Stars with money. But he's not there because of that. He's there because of his expertise and his interest to make it work. So that is the structure. Now, they work for the GFA. The GFA Normalisation Committee is in charge. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a subcommittee of the GFA formed for them to handle this aspect of it.
So it's not, even if it's heavily laden with government officials, there's a reason for it.
There's a reason for it. And you see, let me say something. There's an emergence of a new relationship between FIFA and Ghana. And if this emerging relationship works, President Fantino has said he would then take it to the whole of the African continent. So sometimes we are not proud of ourselves.
Okay, so the model that is emerging.
That is emerging.
If it works.
Because of what President Akufo-Addo did when this crisis emerged, talking to Mr. Fantino, talking to Fatma Samura, talking to Ahmad of the great Ghanaian football nation whose football is down the drain because some people have hidden behind FIFA statutes to say that you can't come here, you can't come there, we are FIFA to do their thing, and it's ruined our football. And we are not going to stand for that. And therefore, we're able, the group he sent, I was included, delegation to FIFA, to tell our story, why we need to be given the free hand to reform our football.
You mean our peculiar story, why government must have a role?
That why government, yes, not must have a role, but why malfeasance cannot be allowed to continue by people hiding behind FIFA's laws to say, this is FIFA, you can't touch me. Understand? So now, you know that there's a task force that has been formed by FIFA and government of Ghana. And this task force is supposed to use FIFA statutes and the laws of Ghana to go after malfeasance in football and punish people who are found guilty by FIFA laws and by Ghana laws.
Looking behind or going forward?
Going forward.
To punish going forward?
Yes.
So the task force will be there when we have a new football...
it's there now, it's been formed. I'm a member of it.
It will continue to be there?
Oh, yeah, it will be there.
It's not expiring like the Normalisation Committee?
No, it won't expire. It doesn't
who are
expire.
on this task force? You and who?
In Ghana, me and Godfrey Dami, the Deputy Attorney General.
Is he there nominally as Deputy Attorney General or in his personal capacity? And are you there nominally as a Normalisation Committee Chairman or Kofi Amoah?
That's a good question. I am there now. You see, he and I were both on the delegation that the President sent to FIFA.
Okay.
And therefore, we are aware and familiar with what is being discussed. And he's a lawyer. He knows the world. And I'm here. I know what is going on. So after me, I'm sure the new president of the GFA...
We'll come back to your role because there's wide speculation that you want to take the GFA for yourself. And I'll ask you that question. On the phone is Robert Coleman, our good friend who is into the pitches. I'm sure you know him. He's into the pitches thing, Robert Coleman. Hello, Coleman.
Yes, good evening, Paul.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you very much for calling us. What can you add?
Yes, let me first of all congratulate Kofi Amoah. Somebody I know to be in a position to do a fantastic job for the Unit and for Ghana football. His record made it impeccable and we report the rest like that. So, therefore, when we started the program, in your opinion, we need at least the fact that people develop football in England, and one of the philosophies that develop that. My problem now is what is the normalization committee doing to normalize our football when it comes to the contract. For example, just that means the market is too good. And they have come to one of the football players that 24 and their own company has restructured. They have come and paid at particular. And I think it was a fight and the coach come in and he was really excited about it. My problem is what are we doing to improve infrastructure when it comes to football in Ghana? Because now
to improve infrastructure when it comes to football in Ghana.
Share data you see that most of it are in a very different state. So what is the normalization doing in tandem with people to ensure that we get better pictures in this country?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. He says that you have identified infrastructure as one of the key things. And what are we doing to improve infrastructure in the communities? to help with football in Ghana? If you can take that question.
Okay, I think he gives an opportunity to also explain something. The Normalisation Committee is not here to implement programs to solve problems of infrastructure, this and that. We are here to create the statutes, the regulations, the rules that will guide how these things can happen. However, when we decided to have the special competition, the reason we decided to have the special competition were twofold. The first reason was that the players and the clubs didn't want to become rusted, because if they were to wait until we finish normalization, football playing is something professional football players have to keep playing to get going. So that's one of the reasons. The second reason why we instituted the special competition was to test some of the solutions that we think would solve the problems that we are facing. Let me give you an example. You're talking about pitches, for instance. There is club licensing statutes, club licensing regulations, that before the GFA will give you a license to own a football club, there are certain things that a club must have. And one of those things is a nice FIFA standard pitch. Clean, this and that and all that.
For playing or for training?
Both playing and training. You must have them.
Yeah.
It's part of the things that...
The requirements.
The requirements, exactly, that you must have. It seems that one of the problems that we are facing is that these statutes have not been enforced. And part of the reason why they've not been enforced is that some of the football club owners were also sitting on the executive committee of the GFA, and is this executive committee of the GFA who was supposed to supervise the implementation of these statutes.
So are you going to stop that?
Yes, of course, you have to stop that.
So
that's a
you
clear conflict of interest.
You are saying categorically that that will not continue.
They themselves know that it should, yes.
But if you're a football owner, club owner, you can't be on the GF executive committee.
Well, you cannot, I wouldn't say you cannot be, but you cannot be involved in taking decisions like implementation of club licensing statutes
when you own a club.
How do you know, that's a conflict of interest.
But we've told them that all the time, and they've always said that Sepp Blatter had a club. Well, Blatter is gone now, we know that.
That's part of the reason why Blatter is gone.
But that's
to answer his question.
Yeah, Coleman's question, yeah.
So yes, it's a very good question. So my point is that clubs must have pitches, and that if they don't have the pitches, then they will not be licensed.
Okay, so that gives employment and opportunity for those who can create pitches.
Yes.
To create pitches for 20 Premier League clubs.
Yes.
You want a training pitch, and you also want a main pitch. You want people who can maintain it for you, etc., etc. So we're going to see these things implemented.
You put your hand on the thing. How is Spain able to create an $80 billion football economy?
Because of these things.
Because of these things. Somebody make this, somebody make that. You know. So somebody's a videographer. Somebody's a cameraman.
Somebody's an editor. Somebody's a commentator. Somebody's a writer.
Somebody's making
online
the uniform.
So every club has a website. You must have it.
Exactly.
It's a requirement.
Website developers. You know.
Yeah.
That's why they have an $80 billion football economy. So if we have these statutes, just like they have, and we are not implementing ours, then we are not creating the football economy. It's simple as that.
Kojo Usu is calling us from Kumasi. Hello, Kojo Usu.
Hello, my name is Kojo Usu from Tikrum.
Tikrum?
Yes, Kamu Junction.
Did you know that Dr. Amoah is from Tikrum?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Are you going to grab him to become a chief?
What I would like to say is that they have been given their mandate. What you should do is to allow them to execute their mandate. At the end of their mandate, if don't go on well, then what we can do is we can come with amendments so that the best policies can be put in place for Ghana football. Thank you.
Okay, all right, I get it.
What is it?
It says there's a mandate, and so we should allow you to run your mandate and do the best that you can for Ghana football.
Yeah,
what is your own future with this leadership of football in Ghana?
I have no future in leadership in football in Ghana. It is very clear with FIFA appointing us that none of us, all the four of us who are in the Normalisation Committee, will be eligible to participate in the elections that is coming. We will be supervising the elections, but will not be candidates.
What if FIFA extends your mandate for 2 years?
I'm not interested.
So in September, whether FIFA wants you to stay or not, you are gone?
Yes.
When will you hold the elections?
Very soon.
Soon before September?
Oh, it has to be before September. We have to finish everything before September 30th and hand over.
Are you supporting Herbert Mensah?
I didn't know he was. Well, I'm not supporting anybody. I have to be a neutral arbiter. Like we said, I'm the referee. Mm-hmm. Are you interested?
So all you are doing is implementing the statutes?
Yes. I was called by President Kofi, come and do this for Ghana. Okay? Our football is in a mess. It is a great sector of our national life. And you know, he's a great football lover. You saw him. He showed, you know.
Yeah, he was excited about Tottenham.
That it is sad that he's in this situation. I mean, when we start having the meetings after the announced thing, that's why I really saw that he's a great sportsman. And he really, really wants Ghana football to turn around. So we are here to do his vision and work out. You know, he appointed me, I'm an ambassador for business.
Yeah.
I have companies in America waiting for me to do that work. So he said, finish this for me and then go and do the ambassador work. I'm not available to do Ghana football. So please, guys who are there, Kofi Amoah is not interested in running Ghana football.
Ampuma is calling us from Techiman. Hello, Ampuma.
Yeah, yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm blessed.
Okay, let's hear you.
Okay, me too. The question I want to ask is that right now they are bringing this and trend this thing. I want to know how the supporters they'll be normalized, because the supporters after everything they have to be normalized so that they will not be able intimidation. So I want to know how the strategies and the things they are putting into place so that after everything, there will not be any hooliganism and fighting after match. And what we are going to do so that Ghana, we want to have interest in our national team again. The interest in the national team will be revitalized again. So these are my two questions.
Okay.
That's a good question.
He wants to know how supporters are going to be normalized. Are you going to sit in opportunity, proper security? What are you going to do?
Well, supporters, fans are a critical part of football. Now, this also tails into talking about the football economy. It's like every business, you must have a certain market base that will buy your products, that will buy your services. If you're a bank, you must have customers. Football clubs have fans and supporters who buy their tickets, either annual tickets or season tickets. So the point he's making is that how do we get football fans, supporters involved in the game without any violence? And I think here again, club owners, football clubs and their supporters the clubs must educate their fans that this is not war. This is a game. The passion you have is appreciated. The exhibition of support for our club is appreciated. It gives our players that fire when they are on the pitch. So we need it. But we also need to be disciplined and we need to be civilized. We cannot be taking guns to football stadia. We cannot be throwing rocks and stones. We cannot be slapping each other. All it is that we are together supporting one particular club because of ABC, and we want our club to do well. You want your club to do well on the pitch, knowing how to play the game, and the refereeing properly, not to win the match by any means necessary. This is a very important question that my brother brought in, and I think all Ghanaians must take this at heart. Our football cannot go forward if we don't exercise the violence out of it. What we saw in Brekum and these places, Doma, it's pathetic. Today is May 9th. And we all know what happened. 127 people of our brothers and sisters perished at a football stadium. Something that shouldn't have happened at all, but it's happened. So let's take that as a lesson. We take these things thinking they are, just some softies, but they can escalate. And when they escalate, they become...
So the fans thing is also an important...
It's very important.
Factor. Okay. You are still on Good Evening Ghana, and there's 9 minutes past 10 o'clock. People are asking me that you didn't say enough about assuring us that the Black Stars were going to win.
Well, the Black Stars of Ghana, who were the only team standing 2010 World Cup in South Africa.
Before then, let me take Mohammed on the line so that we don't spend too much of his credit. Hello, Mohammed.
You want me to promote Black Stars?
Yeah.
Then you stop me.
Yeah, good evening, Mohammed.
Yes, my concern is, you see, in Ghana, we normally criticize our coaches too much. So we should try and give our coach free hands. He has to relax, he has the time, he has to think of who to put to the pitch so that we Ghanaians will enjoy the good football. Whenever we criticize our coaches, they can't perform. Because you don't know who to put that will be criticized. So please, our normalization to try and then give free hands to our coach so that we will get a free hand to coach our players. So we also, we the football fans, will enjoy a good football. We know Ghana, if they call Ghana Black Star, everybody have a fun. Even the foreign people supporters when they see Black Star play. But nowadays, the top politics has made our football go down. So when we are hearing the Black Star playing, nobody is even to hear to them, to watch them, or even to listen to the radio. So my final is there. We pray to a new president who is reforming the new normalization committee to handle our football well, so that we can enjoy as we enjoy when our federals were even sent us to Germany and we were all happy.
Okay, thank you very much. That was Mohammed.
Yeah.
He says we should not criticize our coaches too much,
yeah,
but we can't help that. So Black Stars, for the up team time, we are going to the African Cup of Nations. This is happening in June in Cairo. Are we going to win? Why?
I think the stars are lined up. I think spiritually we are the ones. I was in Egypt. The pharaohs. The draw was held under the feet of the pharaohs. It's great. The pharaohs are connected to Ghana in some way, if you know your history and all that. But the point is this: Coach Kofi Amoah knows that.
Then your shots is the president with the Black Stars. This was in one of the qualifying games.
Exactly. This is, I think, when they went to Kenya.
Kenya, yeah.
Kenya or Ethiopia, one of them.
Okay.
And President Kofi Amoah is behind the Black Stars. Whatever the Black Stars need, the coach needs, he's made them available. We are going to go to camp in Abu Dhabi. We'll be there. We'll play 2 friendly matches. From there, we march down to Egypt, to Cairo, and go to Ismailia. And we are the hotel. The Black Stars are going to say it's a fabulous hotel. Really nice. All the facilities are there. Training and everything is there. We have our training pitches all lined out. And I think the Ghana ambassador to Egypt, he has begun the process of assembling Ghanaians who live in Egypt, in Cairo. He's got about 400 of them, and the support is going to be there. I want all Ghanaians to begin the process of spiritually connecting to the Black Stars. Let's begin and stop the divisions. After the coach makes his announcement, this is the squad that I'm taking to Egypt. We must all support that. I think in the past, that which we did, which made us go very far. A lot of young people in there, a lot of new people in there, but these are all Ghanaian players who have all said that they want to win the cup. They know that the country is really dying inside for not.
What about the division that is widely rumored? The division that is widely rumored.
It's been sorted
between
out.
Jan and Ayu.
It's been sorted. I mean, the president was sitting there. Coach Appiah was here. Jan was here. Ayu was here. I was in the room, everybody was in the room. It's sorted. The president has sorted them out. Everything, they are united, you know. Yeah, they are united.
Wow. So everything is fine?
Yes, everything is fine.
I see. So we should also give them our support. That's Ayu in your shot over there.
Yes.
The deputy captain of the Black Stars today.
Yes.
So Jan will be playing?
I don't know that. It's Kofi Amoah will make that decision. But Jan has said that he's ready to play.
Yes, he said.
And you know, if he's in good shape, for the first time we are going to have 24 African teams, not 16.
So that's a bigger tournament.
Yeah. So everybody who comes in there must be in shape, you know, physically. But the coach has assembled the physio people, you know, we are fine. I think we are going to do very well. I want all Ghanaians to support the Black Stars.
But Nigeria is in the tournament, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Egypt is in the tournament.
Egypt is in there.
South Africa is in the tournament.
Yes.
Cote d'Ivoire is in the tournament.
Ghana is there.
Ghana is there too.
Yes,
the four times African champions.
Definitely.
Last time being 1982.
We don't care. All we care is this 2019 AFCON.
A lot of people who are watching us were not born. They've never seen the Black Stars win a trophy before.
That's why we have to win this one.
1982.
See that
I was small. I could hear the commentary and I saw the black and white television.
Don't worry. That cup have slept in my bedroom. You remember when we hosted?
Yes,
I had to give me the cup because we're doing the rounds.
Yeah.
So when I went to, they were doing the draw and I saw the cup. I said, this cup.
Where were you in 82?
I was in the U.S.
Oh, you can't remember. It's a long time ago. You can remember.
I was in the U.S.
In Los Angeles?
Yeah, 1982 I was in Los Angeles, yes.
Okay. That's when we won the cup. 82.
Well, but we've been to the World Cup. No, we've been to the World Cup.
Yeah, we've been to the World Cup since then.
We almost, you know, I mean, South Africa. No, I think, look, Ghanaians should not, I think in everything that you do, a sense of confidence is important, okay? Every African country that has qualified to come there has dreams of winning the cup. And we have dreams of winning the cup too. We should not underestimate the opponents at all. But I think the Black Stars of Ghana cannot be underestimated.
Moses Famoni has been worried about something. He was a member of the Jamefe committee. He said that they had advised in the report that money should not be the reason why people play football for Ghana. And he's fearing that that is creeping back into the psyche of the Black Stars with the Normalisation Committee endorsing $10,000 for players and all of that. He's very, very worried about that. How would you allay his worries?
Well, I think it's a good point that should the Black Stars be so revered and respected that it is an honor to be called to come and wear the national jersey, and for you to have a chance to stand there with your hand on your heart with the national anthem of your country being played. You are one of the few people who have been selected, and I think there's some credit to that. But I think we have also established a certain tradition of paying bonuses, and therefore to quickly curtail it when the time has come for you to really want to win it. I think the decision that has been made by the Minister of Sports and the President is the right decision, and we must support it.
Enoch from Spintex is on the phone, probably our last caller for tonight. Hello, Enoch.
Yes, sir.
We want to hear you now.
I want to ask that for the case now, we know that there has been a listing in DAC where our politicians really enter and influence the cases on who to call to play for Black Stars. I want to know the measures put in place to stop our politicians entering into sport and influencing the coaches on who to call to play for Black Stars.
Hold on, we lost you. You said you want to know how our politicians will be stopped from doing what?
I want to know how our politicians will stop influencing the coaches.
Stop influencing the coaches. I think I get that. I get that. Thank you very much, Enoch from Spintex. Thank you. He says he wants to know how you will stop politicians from influencing the coaches and the lineup of the coach for the Ghana Black Stars.
I think sometimes it's not undue influence. Sometimes it's a suggestion.
Yeah.
You know, Dr. Kekesapon used to say that if you can coach me too, I can watch. So spectators, you know,
they have a role.
Yeah, you see some things
on the field. Yeah,
on the field you see some things. When the players are playing, we see some things. Sometimes the coaches don't see it, but I think the final decision of the selection should be made by the coach. But that is not to say that you cannot recommend. I got a phone call from Adom-Otchere, and the passion with which Sule was talking, Doc, you know my passion for Ghana. I want to come and play for Ghana. Even if the coach will play me only 15 minutes, I think I can do something, you know?
For AFCON?
Yeah, for AFCON.
Wow.
You know? And now I got goose pimples, you know. I mean, here's a guy who has been playing for Black Stars. He's always, you know, giving his all. Now he didn't have a club. He has a club now. He has not been getting a lot of playing time, you know. So the coach has a problem as he knows that this guy can deliver, but he must be fit. So it's a decision you let the coach make.
But are you going to recommend to the coach that,
I've told him that
I got a call from Adom-Otchere, and I think that he wants to play?
Yes.
You told Kofi Amoah?
I've told him that. I told him that I think Kevin Prince Boateng is a good guy. That, you know.
You think Kevin should come in?
That's my thought, but it's the coach's decision.
But you've told him. But that's putting pressure on the coach.
No, that's not putting pressure. That is giving an extra dimension of the decision making. That other people who are watching the game also see some things.
So it's the coach's decision. And you will not be disappointed if he closes the door to Sule and to Kevin.
And Sule himself would understand.
He would?
Yes.
You seem to have a knack for these players who like style because of your entertainment thing. Adom-Otchere, Kevin,
my friends.
You know, the club boys, and they like dancing.
They do.
You seem to like them.
I love them. They love me
Not
too.
because they know how to play football, but because
football has
of all the style and all that.
Football has a certain pizzazz that you must have it to make it work.
I see.
Yes, just like you.
What will be your last word on this program about the future of Ghana football?
Well, thanks for inviting me, Paul. And I also want to thank President Akufo-Addo for giving me the opportunity to be in this position. There's a lot of criticism, bashing, insults. We take it in stride because once you decide to help your nation, it comes with the territory. But I think my colleagues, Lucy Quist, now Adofo Norte, and now Sami Tuga is with us. They are all passionate to help. You know, these are intelligent people. Sami has played the game from the lowest level to the highest level. Now is a lawyer, an astute lawyer, great thinker, you know, passionate about. Right now she's in Ivory Coast with the Black Queens. And Lucy Quist, a great business manager, highly intelligent woman who also has the passion to do the right things. And we meet for hours, you know, talking. We have read some countries' model and the banter that we go through. I really have enjoyed this phase of my life in helping to reform Ghana football. I hope that in the end, the statutes that we have professed will be something that my brothers and sisters in the football community will see that these people did some thinking. There are some areas you may not agree, but if you disagree, it's not because we didn't try. It's not because we are trying to malign anybody, but in our thinking, to strengthen Ghana football, to create that great football economy, that will help you, the clubs, to become profitable. And if you are profitable, then you can pay the players well, so they can play the game well and excite the fans. When we excite the fans, and the game is being broadcast by GTV, let me thank GTV too. Let me take a minute to talk about this. What we are doing, there is a nationalistic component to that. You cannot have a strong football nation when the games are not constantly televised. The games must be constantly televised. Our media brothers and sisters, and I also must thank them there too. There are a lot of them great there who also I meet with them privately, who also give advice and constantly trying to help. And I must also thank those of you who gave your time to come and serve on the ad hoc committees. And those of you who have presented private papers, Galka presented papers. We are here to work with all of you, and we thank all of you. Ghana football has a great future, but the greatness of Ghana football will depend upon us. How we are united in looking at the facts and stopping the insults and all and the divisions. Let's look at the facts. Create a strong football economy, a strong football industry. Our president is there to help. We may propose certain tax incentives, certain things that government can do to support the football clubs, to support the Ghana football industry, and to take it to the next level. I thank all of you.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
When you meet the normalization committee, and this is the final question, you, Lucy Quest, Ima Ofolo Note, and Sami Tuga, what do you eat and drink? What do you eat?
We eat a lot of tatale.
And
we eat a lot of Ghana food.
And what do you drink?
Water. We are great
and
water.
Water and what?
We don't drink champagne. We
apple
drink
juice? Apple juice? You don't drink apple juice?
No. Some of them have Coke. Water.
Yeah.
What, like you gave me water. Water
I see.
is good.
You eat tatale with beans? Or?
Yeah, with beans. Ghana
I see.
tatale with
You don't
beans.
eat rice?
You like rice. I know you like rice. Paul came to visit me in my house in Los Angeles, and I gave him a lot of rice.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amoah.
Thank you
so
too.
much.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
You are taking me to Cairo, whether you like it or not.
You are there
along
already on my personal account. Don't worry.
Thank you, viewers, for watching. That was Dr. Kofi Amoah. It will be on Facebook, on video on demand, and of course, we'll cut the best stories out. Watch it out on our Facebook page. We'll put it out. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good Evening Ghana is brought to you by Castlegate Company Limited.